Let's take a break. Coffee break, that is. Mura ng cafecito.
Welcome to another coffee break where we're able to learn, discuss, and discover various topics. I'm glad you're able to join me on your coffee break today. So grab yourself a hot cup of coffee and have a seat. On today's topic, we will be taking a good look at my tough love philosophy when it comes to helping youth versus empowering youth. And of course, this could be youth and adults, but as a leader, your job is to help your youth take personal responsibility for his or her own behaviors, actions, and results. And your responsibility is to guide and assist them in working toward their goals and help them eliminate the barriers to achieving those goals. And you're there really to empower them, and you're not there to do it for them. Okay, so right off the bat, I think you know where I'm leaning towards when it comes to helping versus empowering. And my approach is definitely empowerment, and that's to empower, to give them power and authority, or remind them of their power and authority to make things happen for themselves, for their family, and for their community. And just to define helping, and to look at it from the perspective of helping, it's to enable. And it's traditionally defined as to provide someone with resources, authority, or opportunity to do something. And this is where they learn to rely on others for their resources. And we want to make sure that they learn to be self-sufficient and fend for themselves rather than rely on others for their wants, for their needs, and for their accomplishment of goals. And it reminds me of an old adage that if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So thus, reasoning behind my choice in choosing empowering the youth and young adults that I work with rather than helping them. And I'll give you some examples when it comes to determining what they look like what it looks like when you're helping someone, and what it versus what it looks like when you empower them, right? And again, when you help someone, it's really something that's enabling, and it leads to their dependence on others, versus where you empower them, it will lead to their self-sufficiency, especially when it comes to decision making. If you help them, you're going to make the decisions for the youth, right? If you're asked, they're faced with a choice, you're going to make the decision. But if you empower them to do it on their own, they then will make the decisions and are forced to make decisions for themselves. Same thing with the planning of any life plans, right? If we leave it up to you as the case manager, or as the coordinator, or as program manager, etc., or mentor, right? It would probably be easier for you to plan for them, right? And make the plan based on what you think they should be doing, rather than focusing from the perspective and from the lens of empowering them, where you include them in the process and plan with youth, right? So it's important that in their daily trials and tribulations, that if, for instance, in problem solving, that if you're going to help them solve problems, that you definitely empower them to solve problems with you, and that they're actually learning a problem solving process while you're doing that, rather than just solving the problems for youth, right? Because they will ask you, and you can definitely give them advice as far as what to do, but in the long run, you want it to be something that leads to self-sufficiency, because they can use it in the future if they understand how a problem-solving process works. I see this a lot with workforce development. And I'm not picking on workforce development, but it's just something that came to mind, especially when it comes to offering youth a place to train or learn a trade or get a job. If you're from the perspective of helping them, you are placing them in a very specific training, and you are placing them at a very specific job or location, rather than going at it from the perspective of empowering them. If you want to empower them, you want to make sure that you present a range of options and teach youth how to decide what training or job best meets their interests and their needs. So it's important to even consider the perspectives when it comes to workforce development. And when it comes to responsibility and accountability, it's always important to ensure that youth are assuming responsibility not only for their actions or behaviors, but for the process, because you're encouraging the young person to take responsibility for the decisions and understanding how they came about to taking responsibility and accountability for their actions, rather than if you're just simply helping them, you're assuming the responsibility for the young person and making decisions for them. So it's important again to hopefully look at both sides when it comes to my tough love philosophy when it comes to helping versus empowering. Again, if you're helping someone, all you're doing is actually enabling them, which leads to dependence. But if you're empowering them, you're leading them to self-sufficiency. Okay, and that's it for today's coffee break. So make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and share this video. So get back to work or whatever it is that you were doing, and we'll see you at the next coffee break. Lights.